So this is going to be very quick, but it'll be very brief. Why NATO needs to back uh, Ukraine is because Ukraine basically is bordered by several NATO members. And what Putin's trying to do is actually he's trying to take down Ukraine so he could actually be annexed to the NATO members. And obviously he's not very popular in Russia right now, and so he's trying to use force to take over the Ukraine. Now I know Ukraine is not a NATO member; it is a NATO partner, but the sovereignty of the Ukraine is recognized by NATO, is recognized by the United Nations. And what Vladimir Putin is doing is a crime. He is violating the sovereignty of the Ukraine and its democratic governance. And as such, the response by NATO needs to be very strong, because the next thing that Putin's going to come at is NATO members. Even though President Biden spoke about the might of America will come down on Russia if they touch any NATO member. I think it's very important for people to realize that there may be citizens of NATO that may have resided in the Ukraine and may even still be in the Ukraine, and as such, those citizens should also be taken into account. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be very clear on it. I do not think this is a time for people to be pussyfooting around. Uh, Vladimir Putin, he has nothing to lose by doing what he's doing, and he's been sending propaganda both in the United States and in other countries of the world, trying to persuade people's minds. And he thought that that propaganda was going to work with the Ukraine, and it has not. But having said all of that, he is wily, and just like Donald Trump, he will try all kinds of measures to stay in power. Because if he's not in power, he's going to have to be on the run. Because his own people, his own Russian people, don't like him at this point in time. So what I wanted to say to you guys is this guy's days are numbered if, and only if, uh, the NATO flexes its muscles even more. Yeah, you're supplying arms to the Ukraine, but you're going to have to get involved even further because the Ukraine is its own sovereign state, and Russia has already violated the sovereignty of the Ukraine. So it's really completely up to NATO now to implement what they need to implement because it's a violation. And then, as such, sanctions are cool and they work. But this is working to time. And right now, in real time, in day three of this attack, this invasion, there is no pussyfooting around. You have to get troops down on the ground in the Ukraine. You have to get manpower down on the ground to deal with the Russians because they are actually using missiles and warfare at the Ukraine, and the Ukraine is should be it needs to be capable of firing back missiles at Russia. They need to feel the pain that they are sending to the Ukraine and to their capital. They need to feel it, and NATO needs to get in there and send a very strong message to Vladimir Putin. Hey, if you start, if you're even trying to play like you're going to escalate into nuclear, you don't even think about using your nuclear arsenal. They need to calm his ass down. He need to realize that it's costing him a lot. It must cost his troops. It must cost all the invaders. So the first thing they need to do is start bombing and landing missile launchers and destroying the troops that are coming in. And then the next measure is you violated our sovereignty, so we can violate your sovereignty. And you may have to send some missiles right into Petersburg, right into the capital. Launch missiles into their capital. Let them know, hey, we're not playing that. You violate, we demonstrate. You know what I'm saying? This is not no pussyfooting game. People got to step, and they got to step hard on Putin and let him know from the get go. I don't care how many nuclear reserves you got. You ain't using none of that shit because they don't get to that. You know what I mean? You can't be picking on another nation and destroying it to the ground. Hell no. So they need to do that, and America needs to step it up. We can't. There's no diplomacy right now. You know they want to get into talks. Putin doesn't want to get into no damn talks. He's trying to escalate his escalation, and he's moving full speed ahead, just like any dictator. Okay, just like Kim Jong Un, just like all those clowns. So you know, the NATO need to be getting set up inside of Ukraine, and putting up a front for this dude, and let this dude know he's gonna pay every single step of the way for any move where he violates, because he's already in violation. And they need to get him out of power. They need to remove him from power, and they need to separate the Russian people from him and his regime. Cleanse the world of this dude. That's what needs to happen. People need to understand you're in an international community, and when you violate, they must demonstrate to get you in line. You get out of line, we're going to make sure that you never, ever, ever have that opportunity again, right? Because you violated. That's what has to happen. It's an international community, and people need to come together and let it. And this is what the United Nations is for. This is what NATO is for. It's not for invading places like Saddam Hussein's place. Y'all invaded to do when to do was becoming peaceful. You know, even though he did a lot of bad things to his own people, he was still staying in his own space until he crossed into Kuwait. And then America just said, screw you, and decided to destroy him, right? Similarly, Iran, if they violate, you know what happened. Well, now it's Europe, and now it's Russia. And Russia's a very powerful nation, don't get it twisted. But this dude, he gonna try and wield power against his own people's wishes. He already incarcerated a dude who was giving him some challenges in the election. So this dude, he not going to try and go away quietly into the night. We already know this. The fact that he even made that movement of violence means he intends to continue movements of violence. And NATO cannot go soft. NATO needs to go strong. Okay? They need to go strong and they need to go hard and get this guy out of power. NATO has nothing against the Russian people. Nothing against the Russian troops. They're going to be casualties of war, though, if this gets too bad. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't take no prisoners here. You invade, you violate, demonstrate. You violate, demonstrate on his ass. Okay? Let him know that was a wrong move completely. And I hope his people clean him out from power. Cleanse him from power. All right? I hope his own people assassinate his ass. Gaddafi didn't deserve what he got. But Putin, oh, they should get him right now. They should make a coup on him and get him out of there. Because he's violating right as we speak. You know what I'm saying? He's violating. So, straight up, get rid of him and end the story. You know what I'm saying? Which is sad because, in a way, he kind of held things together. But if you're gonna violate like that, you couldn't play chess. All of a sudden, you wanna be bold and everything because you think you have people in different parts of the world. Man, demonstrate on this fool and get him out of there. That's what y'all need to do. I'm gonna catch y'all guys later on What You Need. Peace.